What's up, everybody? This is Screenwriter Randall Rydell Russell, bringing you another episode of The Process, where I break down and give you tips, tools, and just insights on screenwriting, my love for screenwriting, and movies, and all that jazz. It's the month of Halloween, like I said in the last video, so we're going to be diving into the world of horror all month. So today, we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite vampire films. Everybody's going to be a little different. There's some classics that I probably missed that should be on there, but that's all right. We still got all month to go over it, so let's get into it. First and foremost, first movie we're going to talk about, we already know, Lost Boys. Yes, I love this movie. I'm a fan. I'm not going to get into the screenwriting of this because I've gone over it in a couple other videos, but Lost Boys is always going to be number one for my vampire movies. It made me love horror, and it made me love vampires. And it made me love the whole thing about vampire hunting, so that's another reason I love it. So, Lost Boys. Number two, I discussed this in the last video as well too, but Fright Night. It's gothic, it's old school, it's 80s, it's fun, it's just a good all-around vampire movie. Part 2 is good, the remake is good. Tom Holland, who I already went over stuff with him last time, so I'm not going to go over that again, just made a great throwback to like the Hammer vampire films, but in 1985. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, Fright Night. Number 3, which I have not talked about, I feel like it's really underrated, but it is my third favorite vampire movie of all time, Near Dark. They're not conventional vampires in this, but it's still really fun. Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein all came from Aliens. Catherine Bigelow, who directed this, was with James Cameron at the time, so it's kind of cool that they were all in this. But it has a kind of a Lost Boys feel too, like the main guy, Adrian Pastar, who is Nathan in Heroes, gets turned, but he doesn't want to become one, so you kind of have that Lost Boys thing going on with this too. Tangerine Dream did the music, and I love Tangerine Dream, their synth music. But Eric Red wrote this. Eric Red is a criminally underrated screenwriter. He gave us the classic The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell, and Body Parts, if you haven't seen that, with Jeff Fahey, and the movie Bad Moon, the werewolf movie. So Near Dark, definitely check it out. Number 4, Blade. This movie is my top 25 favorite movies of all time. I can't express how much I love this movie, what it did to me when I saw this when I was 12 years old, how it helped my writing, how it helped me just dive deeper in my vampire love and just vampire hunting and all that. Wesley Snipes killed it. I think there's a reason why the other Blade movie that Disney's trying to do keeps falling apart, because you can't do it without him. And Deadpool and Wolverine told us that too. Oh, spoiler. Blade. Next on my list, number 5, Blade 2. David S. Goyer, I didn't mention that in that one, who you guys already know is one of my favorite screenwriters. David S. Goyer wrote all 3 Blade movies, but 1 and 2 was something crazy. Guillermo del Toro directed this, and it has his kind of his touch, what he does with movies. But I feel like they upped the ante with Blade 2. I still love Blade 1 more. It just has that urban, gritty, grimy New York feel. This still has that grimy, gritty feel, but being in another country, it just made it work. I love the story. David S. Goyer kind of went all out. I kind of wish they would have used Morbius as a villain in this, but what they did with Jared Nomak and the Reapers, the vampires that hunt humans and vampires, I thought that was a really good twist. Blade 2. Number 6, one of my absolute favorites as well, From Dusk Till Dawn. Written by Quentin Tarantino, who we all know I love, and I've already gone over that, so I'm not going to go into that. But Robert Rodriguez also directed this. So one of the few Tarantino movies that he wrote but did not direct, but that's okay because they're good together. Let me see. Robert Kurtzman also wrote the story, but then Tarantino turned it into a script. This was actually, believe it or not, was supposed to be a Tales from the Crypt movie. It ended up doing its own thing, which I think helped it. But this is my favorite George Clooney movie. I think he's absolutely batshit crazy in this movie. And I love how he goes from kind of this ruthless killer who will do anything to, you know, stay alive and keep his brother alive, to I will kill every vampire in this building. And yeah, so From Dusk Till Dawn, this is a must. Number 7, Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is just a visually stunning, beautiful, bloody, gory, sexy, all types, just wrapped all in one. One of Coppola's best films, a great adaptation. Everybody brings their A game, except for Keanu, I'm sorry. But Gary Oldman plays a great Dracula. A lot of people hated on him for that. I don't know why, but he was excellent. Just an excellent Dracula. James V. Hart wrote this. He also wrote Hook, or wrote the story for Hook, I believe, which is a great film. And then I'm sure Coppola had some say in this, but it won 3 Academy Awards. It's just, this is such a great vampire film. Definitely watch this. Oh, Anthony Hopkins as Abraham Van Helsing. Totes. Number 8. It's a little underrated. Not a lot of people know about it. It's a very independent film, but Stakeland. This was directed by Jim Mickle, who also wrote it with Nick D'Amici, who I've actually met. Not met, but we've talked to him about projects that I'm trying to get off the ground. This is like all the zombie apocalypse movies you saw, but if they were just vampires. Just very gritty, very realistic, like if this actually went down. Just a really good vampire film that I feel like everybody needs to watch. There's a sequel. It's not as good as this one, but this one is worth it. Stakeland. Number 9. I love this film. It's a foreign film. Let the Right One In. It's based on a book written by, Lord, forgive me as I find the name, but this is a Swedish film. I like a lot of foreign horror movies. I like a lot of foreign films in general. I saw some of my buddy Jason and his wife once. It's just very, very well done. I'm trying to find who wrote it so I can tell you guys. The novel's by John Ejevid Lindquist. Sounds like the guy that wrote Let the Right One In. Not Let the Right One In, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I can't find who wrote it, so my apologies on that, because I know that's what I'm all about when I do this. Oh, the author wrote the screenplay. Duh. So the John guy who wrote the novel wrote this. It's just beautiful. It's about friendship, but it's very dark, very bloody, very violent, but just you can't take your eyes off. And the friendship between the little boy and the girl vampire is just very good. So there's a remake called Let Me In that had Chloe Grace Moretz in it. It's good, but it's nowhere near as close to this. This is perfection. And number 10 on my list of vampire films is a must that everybody must see, Salem's Lot. This was the second Stephen King adaptation that they ever did when Stephen King started becoming a name in the 70s. Tobe Hooper directed this, who also did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he did Poltergeist. This is written by Paul Monash. This was a TV movie that just scared the shit out of everybody when it came out. It's just very well done, very creepy. Another one, like slowly a vampire sickness just going over this town. Everybody's turning, but a group of people want to fight back, which is like, you know, normal Stephen King stuff. But yeah, this movie's really good. There was a sequel that Larry Cohen did, rest in peace. It wasn't good at all. There was a TV remake that was modernized, called Just Salem's Lot with Rob Lowe, which I really like. It's definitely TV movie-ish, obviously, but it captured this, but just brought it to modern times, which I liked. And there's a new one coming out actually this week on HBO Max, and they'll be in the theaters next week. Written and directed by Gary Doberman, who did It. But this film, fantastic. And there you have it for the my top 10 favorite vampire movies. We got more fun, scary stuff coming for the rest of the month. Talk about more things, and we will see you next time.